There are more millionaires than ever leaving the United States, enacting their own Plan A and going in. There are more millionaires than ever leaving the United States, enacting their own Plan A and going and living in other more free and tax-friendly countries. But the millionaires who aren't leaving also want a Plan B. And today I'm going to tell you what that is and how you can build one. In Fortune magazine, which says rich Americans prefer Harris over Trump, but they want a second passport no matter who wins. Now you might say, hey, a lot of wealthy people would like Donald Trump to win. That just shows to me how divided the United States is. You have certain wealthy people like the Mark Cubans of the world who want Harris to win, who think she's the answer. Obviously, she wants to raise your taxes. She wants unrealized capital gains tax. Who knows how far it goes? Elizabeth Warren talked about a wealth tax. But one thing we do see here at Nomad Capitalist is our clients have become more and more diverse over the years. Not everybody cares as much about lowering their taxes. Hey, if they're moving overseas, they might as well get some tax savings. But we have fewer clients looking to pay zero tax. They will push back if they think Kamala Harris or Donald Trump or anyone is wasting their tax dollars. But they're increasingly feeling like the U.S. and other legacy brand Western countries are holding them back. They're choking them. They're holding back their freedom. And I think that they're increasingly feeling like the U.S. and other legacy brand Western countries are holding them back. They're choking them. They're holding back their freedom. And I think that's why you're seeing more Americans, according to Fortune magazine and many others, want a second passport. Now, the article talks about how affluent Americans are more likely to support Kamala Harris. Again, that seems perhaps a regional thing. But they are looking for a backup plan to escape the political environment in the U.S. through what the media calls golden passport and citizenship by investment programs. Now,
she is the most boring candidate America's ever had. I've never watched anybody in interviews where I walk away bored out of my mind. The other day, the teleprompter freezes.
Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. We got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know we will do it.
She doesn't even know how to tell a story and say, earlier today while we were getting off the plane, I met this family named Mary. She doesn't know how to do that. She goes, 32 days. 32 days. 32. Tell a story. It's okay. Just she doesn't know how to do it.
Is she the most uninspiring candidate in American history? Patrick Bet-David doesn't hold back as he dives into what he sees as a total lack of charisma and relatability. He calls out key Democrats' discontent with her choice of VP and why other potential candidates like Josh Shapiro and Gavin Newsom would likely dominate in a face-off. With Obama's influence dwindling, Patrick explains why the opposition's fears are focused on one formidable candidate, Gavin Newsom would likely dominate in a face-off. With Obama's influence dwindling.
A reason you think you were scared?
I mean, the only thing I can think is that God loves our country and he thinks we're going to bring our country back. He wants to bring it back. It's so bad right now what's happening when you look at the crime, the horrible things that are happening inside our country, and it can be solved. It can be solved.
A reason you think you were scared?
I mean, the only thing I can think is that God loves our country and he thinks we're going to bring our country back. He wants to bring it back. It's so bad right now what's happening when you look at the crime, the horrible things that are happening inside our country, and it can be solved. It can be solved fairly quickly. It has to be God. I mean, how can you say it's luck when it's, 20 million to 1, okay? I mean, it's just not possible that I was in that position. It's the only position where that bullet could have missed.
And you believe in God?
I do.
You believe God's hand was in this that day?
I believe so, yeah, I do.
And you talk about the country. You believe you have more to do. You weren't done. You were spared for a reason.
Well, God believes that, I guess. We'll have to see. I'm very honored by it. He's a very smart guy, a different kind of a guy, but very smart, loves our country, has some, I think, very good views on a lot of different things. And I've known him for a long time. We've been somewhat friendly in that position. It's the only position where that bullet could have missed.
And you believe in God.
I do.
You believe God's hand was in this that day?
I believe so, yeah. I do.
And you talk about the country. You believe you have more to do. You weren't done. You were spared for a reason.
Well, God believes that, I guess.
Shalom, shalom, Yahshua. All praises and glory goes to our mighty power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations to the elect men feeding the sheep of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, in sincerity and truth with this great gospel, strictly for the elect of the children of Israel, and that's who I'd be saying shalom to, yeah. Fuck the rest of the people in our nation, man, right? Because they don't deserve no blessings and peace, right? They deserve what death and fucking destruction. Like they still holding on to this society, holding on to this world, this wicked ass place. And you see you got zombies running this fucking system, right? You got zombies in power. One zombie can't even fucking think for herself, and the other zombie talking about God is with America, right? So you know this place is fucked. And you got the other pedophile, they told me, hey man, get your weird ass out of here. We talking about Sleepy Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe Biden. And the spirit in a lot of so-called Americans with wealth. They trying to get the hell out of Dodge, right? Talking about a second passport, right? And where can you run to? There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. What did the Bible say? Reading the book of Amos 5:19, it reads, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, all right? That's the times we're coming into, right? It's called the day of the Lord, right? Day of the Lord, the day of visitation, the day of gloominess, darkness, and no light in it. Right, matter of fact, let's go back there. It's the book of Amos 5, verse 18. It reads, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. And to what end is it for you? And the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Right? Verse 19, it says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. Right? You got these elites, they trying to get passports to go to other countries to avoid what? The collapse of this society here in America, the collapse of the system, the collapse of the currency, the endless shutdown of these jobs, right? It's going to continue to shut down to the point ain't no fucking jobs whatsoever. The only jobs it's going to be is with the military and other motherfuckers picking up dead bodies for FEMA. That's what it's going to be. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? I'm reading it again. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. I'm reading the book of 1 Thessalonians 5:3. We're going to go to the New International Version, right? It says, while people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape, right? There's a New International Version, right? They will not escape. There's no fucking escaping what's coming. Let's read the New Living Translation. When people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman's labor pains begin, and there will be no escape. There'll be no escape. Talking about trying to flee, motherfuckers think they going somewhere. Let's read in the English Standard Version, right? Probably the same thing over and over, while people are saying there is no peace and security. No, while people are saying there is peace and security, right? Who's they gonna bring the peace force in? The UN? They might bring in the military to help with the violence in the cities, right? Just calm down the insurrection of the people, right? While people are saying there is peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them as labor pains come upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. The key thing is there's no escape, right? And you being a so-called American going to a foreign country in a time of World War III, you got to be a fucking retard. You're better off here in America trying to fight off Americans, then go into another country where they gonna cook and barbecue your ass and feed you to the village. That's what they gonna do. It's about to get turned up. They gonna make a example of the people of Babylon the Great. Why? Because it's God's willing. It's the Lord's will. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is behind these things, right? Let's read this verse right quick. It's the book of Proverbs 20, verse 24. It reads, man's goings are of Yahweh. How can a man then understand his ways, his own way, right? It says, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way, right? The Lord will put in a spirit in you to go towards your final destination like he do to everybody. Like he do to everybody. A lot of people, it's a lot of mothers, they be telling their sons. You hear the story of the last day she saw her son, the last time she saw her son. I talked to him, I told him, don't go out. He said, baby. I told my baby, don't go out. He said, mama, everything gonna be okay, mama. And next thing you know, he's dead. Yeah. Because man's goings is of the Lord, right? Us being in this truth. The Lord brought us in this truth. Spiritually, physically, your walk, your thoughts, everything is controlled by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? The Lord gonna put a spirit in some of you rich men to what? Be preserved for what? Captivity, right? Your ass might be going to another country just so you could be be chased, right? It says such are for that. Man, let's get that verse right quick. Jeremiah 15 verse 2, and it reads, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, right? And such as are for what? Famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity, right? Certain motherfuckers, they gonna die by the sword, right? They gonna die by famine. A lot of other motherfuckers going straight into cages, right? They gonna grab you up, they gonna snatch you up, right? You gonna become a fucking prisoner. That's the future of a lot of people. Because the Bible tells us so. Let's read it again. Jeremiah 15 and 2, it says, and it shall come to pass, they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth, right? Because we've been telling them what to do. Go to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Right? When that famine of the word come, man, guess what, man? Go to hell, goddammit. That's what we're going to tell them off. Take your ass to the grave. Fuck you and die, right? It says, and it shall come to pass, they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh, such as for death to death, and such as for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine, and such as for the captivity to the captivity. I'm going to go to the book of Job 21 verse 30, right? 21 and 30, because whatever you're predestined for, that is your what? That is your future. That is going to be the judgment that's going to be bestowed upon you. Right, because you can't do nothing to change what the Lord has already had in store for you. Right, us returning back to our heritage and believing and calling on the Lord, that's all part of the Lord's plan. A motherfucker about to get killed and slayed tonight for following this dumb Halloween shit, that's also part of the Lord's plan. The Lord could have kept him, could have woke this person, but no, the Lord kept his ass in the world. So that's why you got to give thanks to the Lord that you're not still in the fucking world, right? Because guess what's going to happen to the people of the world? Is Job 21 and 30. It says that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath, right? You got certain men, they trying to escape. You like that one white boy, he done went to Hawaii. He doing videos in Hawaii. You got other Edomites, they fled California. They went to Texas. Motherfuckers fleeing New York, Chicago, California, going to Texas. And now shit, they talking about fleeing Texas, right? They don't know where to go because they ain't nowhere to fucking go, ain't nowhere to run, ain't nowhere to hide. I'm reading again. It's the book of Job 21 and 30. It says that the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction, right? They shall be brought forth to what? The day of wrath. And we're getting closer and closer to what the times of perdition of ungodly men. These wicked ass souls who's just been around on the earth doing nothing good, right? Robbing, stealing, killing, destroying, right? Lying, cheating, stealing, right? It says here in the book of Revelation 6 and 12, it says, and I beheld when he opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as fig trees casteth her untimely figs. Right? He's talking about the missiles is coming. Right? A lot of these crackers, why you think they leave in America? Because they know one of the main fucking targets on earth is going to be America. It's going to be America. A lot of these missiles around the world is going to target fucking America. Who else are these people upset at? America, Israel. Those are the main people. Right? Those are your usual suspects for criminality. And now the people, why you think so many people done join BRICS nations, right? That BRICS, right? Because they're tired of America and its ways. And it says, I'm reading again, the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, right? Out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, right? You see what they doing? They building so much fucking underground shelter in one mountain. They said that motherfucker go miles in the mountain, and just, it looked like a whole underground city with food, electricity, right? Shelter, right? Being protected from what? Nuclear destruction. And if you're here in America, you are fucked. Even if you're underground, you're fucked, right? Because you already see the videos from California to Chicago to New York. It ain't nothing but fucking volcanic plates underneath this motherfucker. At any time, you could have an earthquake and just nothing but fucking destruction could happen. It says, in every bondman, let me read that verse again. It's important. It says, in the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, all these rich men talking about, man, we leaving America. Too much taxes. Now you running from what's coming. You running from what's coming. You know, World War III. You know, America's going to be invaded. America's going to be attacked, right? Why you think the stock market keep getting fucked? So many businesses is fleeing where these CEOs and these people who run these corporations know what's coming. They know war is coming. So they getting rid of assets. They selling shit they don't need no more. Rappers getting rid of catalogs. Music is dead. That's another sign. The Bible said the daughters of music shall be brought low. That we in them times, man. And it says, in the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, right? Trying to run from this destruction, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Yeah, Yahushua coming back with fire and a sword. Verse 17, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Right? Who shall be able to stand? Who shall be able to escape? Right? Only people who's going to be preserved from this is what? The elect of the Lord. Election. It's the book of Jeremiah 16 and 16. It reads, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish them. Right? That's what's happening right now. You got men set up to what? Fish the elect with this gospel, right? We're throwing this hook with this gospel. We're throwing the line with the hook. It's this gospel, the truth, the bait, the signs, the 12 chart signs, right? And then if it catches you, what, you gonna return back to the Lord? You're going to return back to the Lord if that is your lot. If it's not, man, guess what? You're going to go right back in the world, or you're going to just act like you never seen us. I'm reading it again. It says, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And here's the beautiful part. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks, right? So nowhere to run. Nowhere to hide, right? Because the Lord's going to have men that used to be fishers, they're gonna be turned into what? Hunters. Right? And who do you think they're gonna hunt down? Motherfucking Edomites, right? Who thought they could flee heathens, other nations. Man, we coming to put the whole earth into submission through the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, underneath Yahweh Shai. Man, that's what's about to happen. Right? Like the apostle Elder, like the Elder Malcolm would say all the time, this manifest destiny number 2. Right? Yeah, the manifest destiny you had was to run America, and now the next one is for your ass to go into fucking slavery. Verse 17, it reads, "For mine eyes are upon all their ways, they are not hid from my face. Neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sins double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled mine inheritance with their carcasses of their detestable and abominable things." Right? These devils gotta pay. They gotta fucking pay. These Gentiles, these heathens. Right? These devils gotta pay, and they gonna pay. Right? Money make them think that they could afford to escape. Right? These rich men, they really think, it even says they have stored up riches for the end days. And paraphrasing, and what Timothy? Right, paraphrasing if that's the right verse. But Job 12:16 says, "What with him is strength and wisdom. The deceive and deceiver are his." Right? You under a deep deception thinking you could escape the judgment of America. Here you are being a rich man in America. You prospered off Babylon the Great. Right? You oppressed. You done evil things here, and you thinking, I'm just gonna get a passport and escape before all this happens. Right? And we talking about these politicians. Right? These businessmen. Right? All type of motherfuckers. You talked about all these different type of men who are trying to hide from what the judgment of the Lord, but you can't hide, right? It says, "With him is strength and wisdom. Deceive and the deceiver are his," right? Lord got a lot of these people in the trick bag. Right? Got a lot of people in the trick bag. Us, we trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. We ain't running nowhere. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. Right? The scriptures tell us here in Proverbs 3 verse 5, it says, "Trust in Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." Right? In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths to salvation, not to destruction. Right? These devils, they think I'm gonna direct my own path. I'm going the way I want to go. Yeah, that's why a bunch of these people gonna fall. Again, trust in Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones, right? Because guess what? You're going to need the Lord's help. You're going to need the Lord's help very soon in the times we're coming to, man. Shalom.